Powered by Riverside FM.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Jandler.
Welcome, Choey. And see, now I can hear my sounds effect. Dude, I don't know if I can listen to our drum intro and would not think about Phil Collins in the air tonight now, you know?
Like, well, because you made that comment before we started. Like, that's what
Yeah,
I
like...
was like,
And I was like, is it Phil Collins? Now I'm going to be, every time I hear it, I'm going to be like, Phil Collins. So, hey, what's up, dude?
You can see us talking in the cast tonight. Hello.
This people, Choey's like, yeah, I do make up songs. You didn't believe me, did you?
Dude, so... And like it made me think of the fact that like I kind of every once in a while will sing along with songs when we have like music or whatever.
Yeah.
But I listen to like ESPN radio in the morning, and the new host guy, and I say new like in like quote unquote new because he's probably been on there like 6, 7, 8 months now. I don't know how long he's been on that. But every once in a while they'll have like a song when they come back from commercial, and like 3 or 4 minutes of like the whole show is like him just singing with the song, and it's like. I get like this, and he did it this morning. So like Backstreet was it Backstreet's Back or whatever that song
That's
is?
what I was thinking, yeah.
And he was singing the song like along with it. And it's like I get it, like we get it. And it got to the point to where like the middle one was riding in the truck with me, and he was like, what is this radio show about? Like, what are you listening to?" Because they talked about that and talked about kids like apparently like some parents got in trouble for like you gave a Jello shots to kids at a birthday party, and he was calling the kids. He was like, the kids got drunk. That's what they get for being such fatties and having like all the Jello shots. And he was saying all this stuff. He's like, "What is it?" I was like, "It's supposed to be sports." He was like, "They haven't talked sports for 10 minutes." And I'm like, and it wasn't even like a loose connection to sports of like, oh well, this happened in sports, and it reminded me of it was nothing to do with sports. And I kind of said, you know what? I don't know. I had to switch it.
That's just it. At least he didn't sing over that song, right?
You're no, like, he stayed with the song like, for like 2.5 minutes.
You're like, shh, no, but I'm talking about your son. You're like, shh, daddy's listening to this. Quiet down, you.
I'm listening to the radio version of it and another guy like karaokeing it too.
Yeah, it's like, woohoo!
Take me back to the 90s.
Move on to the holidays real quick.
Here are today's effing holidays.
Here's today's holidays. Did you know this is the last episode for us? In April.
No month. Right.
Yeah, so April 25th. I gotta close this. So
that's gross looking picture.
Well, the first holiday is it's National Hairball Awareness Day. Hairballs are a healthy part of animal routines, but can potentially be an underlying health issue. So, you know, do dogs have hairballs? I mean, I know cats do. Dogs do?
I think. I don't know.
Well, they said animals, so it's got to be more than just the cat.
It up, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I know dogs like to throw up and then eat it again, you know. So
maybe
they do. I don't see it. It's also License Plate Day. There were 15,000 vehicles in the U.S. when the first license plate was introduced. Just so you know, I don't think we're anywhere near that. We're probably way over that now, right? 15,000.
I don't know. That's like one of the useless facts to know. Like, as well as you know, when they first started doing these, there were 15,000 cars out there.
Today is also National Zucchini Bread Day. Grab a slice of zucchini bread and take advantage of the feasting opportunity this day presents. Do you like zucchini bread?
I tried that for the first time like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if it was April 25th when I did though. It's like there's a certain bread, like let bread be bread, man. Like why we gotta put other crap in it? Like,
well, see, do you like banana bread? Because like I love banana bread, right? I love banana bread.
It's a treat.
And I know, yeah, but I like zucchini bread. But what I think is interesting is I do not like a zucchini, but I like zucchini bread, right? Same thing for oranges. I don't like an orange, but I love orange juice. You know what I mean? So like I'm.
Well, and I feel you on orange juice
because,
like oranges, it's like the best part is the juice, anyways. Might as well just drink it and not have to worry about chewing it. So it's all good. The wife actually makes banana bread and puts like chocolate chips in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
I was about to ask, it's banana nut bread, right? There's always nuts in the
Well,
Like
you
it's
can
not
do
just
banana. You can do the nuts in there too if you want. You can have like the male banana bread or the female banana bread, I guess, right?
yeah. You know what you know
You're
what
all,
I had to
just
wait
skip
for
over
a
that.
pause.
Skip over that
I
one.
swear, if you go back and you start listening to the last 3 to 4 weeks, man, you're doing this a lot more. Just so you know, you're, you're dropping those hints in there a lot more often now.
Gotta make it fun.
Yeah. Um. It's all. Well, I was thinking of it. I like raisin bread too, right? But like it's like if I have raisin bread, it's literally like the only thing I maybe use it as toast or like French toast because I wouldn't want to use raisin bread for anything else. Like I'm not gonna make a PB&J on it because it's too much flavor stuff going on.
I thought you
But
with the bagels. The bagels are good like that with like some cream cheese on it with the
hmm
raisin bread bagels. Oh, those are good things.
um, last holiday, it's National Telephone Day. Can you imagine a world without telephones? We'd still be sending messages through pigeons. Um, there's a lot of
I
things I liked about. I like the photo as the rotary phone that
I
people
know.
were
I'm
like,
like,
"What?"
oh, no kids won't even know what that. Half the kids might not even know what that is.
They pick it up. How do I send somebody a text on this? Where's the camera? And you're like,
You know, yeah, you know what's crazy because like some I actually saw this on like a trivia type thing. Ask children who like don't usually deal with phones like that now.
uh huh,
Like, and you're pretty perfect because the grade level you teach. Ask
yeah,
them how you hang up a phone. When you're done with a phone call, what do you do? How do you hang it up?
yeah. You mean
And a
back
lot
in
of
the
kids
day
are
or
like,
now?
"Oh, you push the button to turn it off, or like it just disconnects." And if you ask kids, and even like high schoolers, "Oh, you just push the button, or just the phone drops," and you're like, "No." Back when you used to, you have to hang it up and actually put it out. That's where the hang it up came from.
Well, if they had the little those little like pegs or whatever, right? I mean, you know how you can click it with your hand. You could hang
Yeah,
up that way, but yeah, I know what you mean. You got to like hang it up. You know.
yeah.
Speaking of, it kind of reminds me. A quick side note before we jump to the headlines. One of our, I don't know if you're part of this. There is a Facebook group from our high school, right? From
Yeah,
our graduating class, and
I'm in there.
somebody posted on there, right? And I think it's the dude that I worked at Walmart with back in the day. And I was thinking about because I used to joke a lot. Like he saw a lot of my antics and right when we graduated and stuff. But he put on there like, does anyone know someone can help with fencing? And so I took a GIF from Princess Bride, and I was like, you mean like this? And so I was still like being
he's
sarcastic the whole time.
he's probably like F off, man. I'm being serious.
Well,
How old are you?
he may
How
have
old
said
are you?
that inside, but outside he was laughing because at least he was telling me he was laughing. But anyway,
Dude,
jumping into the headlines.
before we
It's
go to the
time for this
headlines,
week's edition of Choey and
Oh,
uh,
shoot.
Jandler's headlines. Yay! Hooray!
Now we got to cut that out, put it
no, it's
again.
fine.
So
We
what
can
do you
do
want
it.
to say?
I was gonna say real quick before we went to the headlines. I saw like a thing. I think it was like an intro for like a business presentation, and it referenced the dude from Princess Bride, the Inigo
Yeah,
Montoya, however you say his name. It
yeah.
said, "This is how you do a proper, like you do the proper like introduction. You state your name, you state your business, and you state your purpose." And I was all, "Oh, okay. Like I guess that's a good way to kind of put it. Like that's a good way to frame it. I never thought
Very.
about it like that."
It's probably like it's like good reasoning, but it's also like entertaining at the same time. So like, yay, say
Well, yeah,
this.
I was like, hey, this is a good hook, man. Like, because I know everybody knows that. Like, we know they killed his father, and his business is that he wants them to be ready to die.
So I looked up Inigo, or well, say like I think he called himself Inigo, and then like Peter Falk I think called him Inigo. So like I never understood. I thought it was Indigo for a long time. I thought there was a D in his. But anyway, I was looking it up. Yeah, Inigo, fencing, right? And I was on Google, and it came up with something was like it was like a sticker company, right? Like it was like a fake company,
Yeah.
but it's like fighting for your father's revenge, forever, right? But I sent that to the guy on Facebook, and I was like, hey man, I think if you call, they give a 6-finger discount, But all right, anyway, now we are moving on
Now the
to the
headlines.
headlines. So let's do it again.
Yeah, hooray!
Hooray!
Oops. Oh.
You just did the back part of it too.
It's time for this week's edition of Choey and Jandler's headlines. Yay! Hooray!
The AI knew what was going on, right?
She's like, I've already done this once.
By the way, I talked to White Gandalf yesterday, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, when did you listen to the episode? And he's like, he said he listened to it Sunday. And I was like, oh, so I was listening to it. And my first headline is, I didn't edit it well enough. And what I mean by that is certain parts were kind of out of order. Like I don't know if you heard it early. I fixed it like Monday or Tuesday. But it had said, you know how we have powered by Riverside FM?
Yeah.
And then it went immediately into here's today's effing holidays. Like I had it like
Uh-huh.
out of order, right?
Yeah.
And so I switched that. I just kind of moved it. And then there was something that I'd cut you off before I went to break. And I was like, hey, then we need to just move this back over here. Because like we came back from break and you're in the like it's where I broke it up. You just kept continuing your conversation. I was like, this doesn't make any sense now. I was like, we gotta move this. So I fixed the editing part. I kind of thought of you. I was like, Choey be laughing. He's like, Chandler did it again. Couple updates. Talked to Mother Bing, right, about the book idea, and I was like, hey, there's two things. There's two things I want to ask her a favor for, and one of them was the book. I was like, hey, because my mom's an artist. I don't know if I told you that. Like she
No.
has like an art degree, and I was like, hey, would you like to illustrate the book? And she's like, yeah. She said she'd love to do it because she'd love to do.
Sweet.
She said she'd love to do a book with mom and son. I was like, well, it's gonna be Jandler Bing on the cover for me, not my name, but yeah, I get it. So we got our artists in line. Now we just got to do all the other work.
I mean, it'll be the adventures of us. And like
Yeah,
we can be in there as like authors and she can be there as the illustrator. Like we can use our real names at that point.
that's true. Let's do that too. But yeah, like I was saying though. But that to me, that's a plus. We got our artists done. Now we just got to do all the other work. But one step down.
The
And
artist,
then
soon to be known as Mama Bing instead
yeah,
of formerly known as.
and then my sister and I was working on. I sent you something, and then I got your take on what you want for your shirt, and I just have to go do it and then send it to my sister. But my sister says she'll still hook us up with the t-shirts, right? She's still gonna work on printing those t-shirts. The one thing she's got to try and do is I was putting a QR code on the back that would link to the show. She's gonna try that. She doesn't know how that's gonna work. I was like, okay,
It'd be crazy if we did the QR code on there and then you wash it and like some parts flake off, and so when they scan it, it goes to like an adult site somehow. You're like, that's not us.
That's a good point. Can you put like Scotch Guard on it or something?
Yeah, it's like, oh, if it's faded, don't go because we don't know where it's gonna take you.
Yeah. All right. So those are just some updates on some stuff that's going on. Now, last thing was I was at. Do you
I
see
just
what
read
it's
that
going
too.
on?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just read it now.
So I was letting my mom listen. I was showing her the Lewis and Clark Inebriated History, and she chuckled a little bit. And she's like, "You show these in class with your students?" And I was like, "No." It's like, of course not.
Well,
Why would I be?
you want me to get fired?
Like, why am I teaching like drunk history to kids with like beer sounds and hiccuping? And I was like, "No, mom, of course not." So I thought it was funny that she like immediately went that route, and I was like, "No, no, no, no." Choey and I aren't that. Well, actually, that'd be me because it would be my fault. I was like, I'm not that stupid. So.
Yeah. Do you think that's a bad idea? I mean, the kids are getting hundreds.
As long as they're learning, right? What if I did do that and it was working? That's the new like what were like crib notes back in the day? Remember that was a big thing with the yellow book?
Oh yeah.
Or Cliff Notes, not crib notes. Cliff Notes. The new thing is Inebriated History.
Dunkin' Notes.
Yeah, drunk notes. All right, hey, so this last thing I'm gonna do before we kind of roll into the break. I do not remember. I do not, or I do not, whatever. I do not remember if I told you this story, but I subbed at a school one time in Illinois, and I was the only dude there. Right, office staff was all women, custodians were women, all the teachers were women. I didn't really, it didn't bother me, right? But they came over with the announcements. They're like, "Hey, ladies, we're having a meeting in the conference room or whatever in like 5 minutes." And I just remember being like, "That's kind of messed up, right? Ladies." And then there was one of the teachers at the end of the day.
Hey.
Yeah, she poked her head in my room and she's like, "Hey, we heard there was a dude in the building, and I just wanted to come say hi." And I was like, "Yeah, it was weird, man. I thought that was trippy." So I got this little scene for you. If it's gonna play.
Dry land is not a myth. I've seen it. Kevin Costner, Waterworld. I don't know what all the fuss is about. I saw that movie 6 times. It rules.
That just made me think about, like, it's not a myth. Men do exist, right? It's just kind of, I said it was trippy to me that I was the only dude there. Have you ever been? Well, yeah, obviously at elementaries, where it's pretty female
Yeah.
centered or whatever, right? But have you ever been like that, where you're like one of 3 or 4 or less? You know what I mean?
Well, and it's not bothering me just because, comfortable with whatever, except for the fact that, like, when I was first went into administration, I was there was a couple dudes on the campus, but they had like the campus leadership team, and so I was part of the leadership team. Me and the principal, who was a female, and the rest of the people on the leadership team were all female. And after school one day, it was October, no, it was going to be October. And so she was like, "Hey, leadership meeting. So we're in September." She's like, "All right, here, guys. Here's the agenda." But well, a lot of stuff on the agenda. And she says, "All right, guys. Next month is Breast Awareness Month." And she keeps instead of breast cancer awareness.
Yeah.
And so like she kind of went through it, and like, you could see everybody kind of look at a few of them like looking, and I was like, and it was like, and you function the same way that I do, and like the point where like you're like, should I say it? Should I not say it? Should I? And then for me, most of the time, it's like, well, if I don't think I'm gonna get fired, what's the worst that can happen? And so I said, well, go ahead.
Isn't the Talladega rule always like, as long as I say with all due respect, I can say whatever, right?
Yeah,
With
like
all
when
due
we were in high
respect.
school. When we were in high school, hey, no offense, and then like it was gonna be like the worst thing you're never. Hey, no offense, but you're ugliest piece of poop, and
Yeah.
nobody likes you. Yeah, like there's no way that's not offensive. But I was like, should I say it? Should I not? Should I? And in my mind, it probably was like back and forth like 500 times, but it was in the like real time, it's like 5 seconds, and so I was like, well, so it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I was like, I'm pretty sure that most people are aware of breasts. She said,
Yeah, at least
and,
you weren't like grabbing your own nipples. You're like, it's breast awareness.
and so I was just like, and they all laughed, and I was like, I didn't want to be like ugly about it, but I was like, I'm just where people are aware of their breast cancer
What
awareness month.
listeners don't realize is Choey was just waiting for a chance to say breast that day, and he was like, done.
I was like, oh, bucket list for the week is done. I thought I was gonna be able to bingo, blacked out that card.
All right, hey, so we're gonna roll to break, right? We'll come back to
All
our
right.
song, our ad, and then the second part of the episode, all right?
Sounds good.
Sweet.
We say gun bay, cheers mate, and cheers mate again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's short towels and tea, other times it's cheers. Are you effing hoser? You effing hoser. We also say soul day, salute, salute, or to gay. Skull, let's all say. Nastarovi in the Russian way. In Vietnam we shout out yo walugi wawa, make South Africa glow. In Portugal it's a solid soda, and Bud Mo, Ukraine's here to stay. For Jamaica, it's a loud yaman. No matter the place, we drink till dawn. That's how Choey and Jandler cheers around the world.
All right, and then
I tell you what, man. Like, no, we'll let Morgan, and then I'll talk.
Okay. All right.
Hi there. I'm here to help Choey and Jandler to read an advertisement for buyblacket.com. Please shop buyblacket.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. Buyblacket.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop buyblacket.com today. Tell them Choey and Jandler sent you.
All right. I'm sorry, Choey. What were you thinking?
No, it's okay. Like I need to take hints that you don't like me talking as much. It's the Jandler and sometimes Choey show is what it really is.
That's why I'm at the top of the marquee, right?
You're like, oh, we put you on the top, but you just like notice how yours is scribbled. You're just kind of there.
Yeah.
No, like I there's so many parts of that song that are just like I don't know, like so I like so many like I can't really pick a favorite part of the song. And you know what's also
Yeah.
like is crazy is like every time I hear it, I
You want to
the
dance.
other songs were good,
Yeah.
but like with this one for some reason like I can actually understand the words a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like and so I was like, oh, I didn't realize that's what we were saying like in Russian
Yeah.
or whatever.
Now, like
I was
it'd
like,
be. I think that's well, it's one of those things I'll be doing this summer is like getting that stuff on iTunes or whatever for people that I don't know want to. Maybe it's another one of those things in my head that maybe just kind of expands our listeners. You know, I'm not saying like it's not something I would do to make money because I only want to put it on there for like a nickel or 10 cents. Because I honestly think like if it's cheaper, maybe people will buy it too. You know, maybe then they'll
do
really.
you need to get like a Phil Collins version? Like we can't call it that because then I'm sure it'd be like
Mhm.
copyright infringement. But if we can get like the do 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 do
Drums.
do 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 do.
Well, there's different. So
Cheers
that'll be
around the world in a
that,
good.
that'll be like one of those things that all these different versions. But see, you know what you just put in my head now? Remember when I sent you in the dude yesterday the total eclipse of the heart when he's like turn around? Dude,
Yeah,
I swear for the longest time I kept thinking that the Dan Band's version where they had the effing, I thought it
yeah.
was like effing turn around. It's not. It's the effing is a different part. Because that in my head is like effing turn around right now. Because I was thinking that in my head when I kept telling students, turn around, look at the board. I'm this way and not that way, you know. But
You know, like if and every now and then I tell you turn. I need you now.
I keep looking at ESPN to see like one of these days I'm gonna be able to give you the tone one of these minutes. All right, but let's go ahead and jump into the warm up your vocal cords, Joseph.
I know. I was thinking. I was like, I haven't done English accent in a bit.
You
Go.
need to take us to
I'm
India,
like to
Robin.
India's. All right, we're going.
Go ahead. Yep.
All right. India is the second largest English-speaking country, with over 125 million people speaking English. India ranks second only to the United States. You know, for a second I almost said to us. I was like, wait a
Hey,
second, that's not.
hey, when you said that million, I wish you'd have had the pinky at your lip. You know.
125 million. Well, that's
Yeah.
a different thing. 125 million people. Perhaps billion.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Floating post office? India's got one. India is home to the only floating post office in the world. Located on Dal Lake in Kashmir, the post office sits on a houseboat. India is the world's largest film producer. If you've heard anything about India, you've definitely heard of Bollywood. India is the tiger capital of the world. India proudly holds the title of the tiger capital of the world. Incredibly, a whopping 75% of the global tiger population calls the country home. And last but not least, frog weddings are held in several India states to appease rain gods during times of drought. Fun stuff.
So there you go. Like I'm trying to share the screen again. It is some fun stuff. I like the that frog. What people in India probably think we're making fun of them, but I just thought it was.
I'm
I
not, I
find that when
promise.
I think it stands out, you know. I like the floating mailbox too. It's like what? So the next slide. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, just shout out to like all the people in Bollywood and like the Slumdog Millionaire movie.
I mean, I remember I had a couple film appreciation classes. I don't remember the names of films, but I remember we watched at least one. Like there, I tell you what, growing up, my impression of Bollywood, like in the '80s and '90s, was cheap or cheesy, right?
Yeah.
They got some quality stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
They put
they
some
got
quality
like
movies together.
song and dance. I like musical. Like as long as the musical's
Yeah.
not crap movies. Like like there's certain musicals where you're like, okay, I get it. Like stop singing. But then like they got like a lot of song and dance. It's pretty good.
So this the next part. I put slang on here from India, and
Yeah.
apologize before I butcher it up, right? Because I don't know how to pronounce these. So let's go through a couple words. Like here they have, I guess it's yar. Y-A-A-R. This is an slang word equivalent to dude, mate, or bro in the Indian language, but yar is the most prevalent of them all. Additionally, R yar is used to express anguish. Okay. I don't know what this is. Wat la gai. If you're in some serious trouble, then the situation would be quite apt to use this phrase, which means we're screwed. Just think about that.
I'm excited to hear you say this next one.
Jacques? I know what you wanted me to say. Jacques.
Like,
Don't be a Jacques, right?
how do you say that one?
This is another Marathi word that found its way into everyday lingo. It's a major hint of what it means. In Hindi dub version of The Mask, the character's catchphrase, smokin', was replaced by Jacques. So if you still haven't got it, it means fantastic. Not what you think it is. Other name for a donkey.
Spelled Jhakaas. So that way
down. Okay, Fatu. All of us have that one friend who's a little bit of a wimp, especially when it comes to breaking the rules. I was going to say breathing. Once in a while, that person right there is a Fatu for you. So stop being a Fatu and tell the girl that you love her. Guys, we have a different word for this. It's kind of word you don't say around a woman in case you want to get slapped, right? In England, they call it "don't be a." Well, it starts with a C. Same thing. But I was gonna say the words like, wait a minute, that's just as offensive. So.
I'm all beep.
Yeah. Last one I'll do here, I guess, is Bindas. We also know that one friend is the coolest one in the group, who's unbelievably chilled out at all times and always fun to be around. That person rightfully earns the Bindas title, but the term is also used to describe anything that's great. For instance, Breaking Bad is a Bindas TV show.
Almost like Bad A TV show.
Yeah.
Right?
They like the AAS makes us think of Americans of what it is, and it's not what we think it is, you know? How is this first pick not in yet? People?
I don't know. You said it, I kind of was like, I want to go back and check it out myself. They should be at this point because you would think like.
Well, it started at 7. It should have been on the clock at 7. It's 7:10 right now. But
well, it started at 7. They probably didn't put them on the clock right away because they have to do all like the, hey, you know, we want to welcome so and so and recognize so and also this guy.
Maybe we'll be able to announce the first pick after Whine and Cheese Corner, though. Okay?
Perhaps.
It's been a while since I did one of these, and I was like, by the way, this whole episode, I want to say we did on the fly, but we originally were going to record yesterday, and just some miscommunication with the doctor, Jim Carrey. We'll talk to him, you know, next time, you know, I know, episode or two, or at least 2 episodes. But I was trying to come up with something when I realized what was going to happen yesterday. And I tell you, you know, we got off and we just like, hey, we'll do it today. About 30 minutes after you left, I had all the ideas. You know, it was just like if I did. So like, but I'm calling this episode the one that kind of was made on the fly. But I was like, you know what? I haven't done a Whine and Cheese Corner in a while. So I was like, let me think about what is something the kids have been whining about lately. So I got 2 students actually. We're now a third that have broken their Chromebooks. And his one kid is like, he's always, like, so he broke his Chromebook, so he can't use it, right? So he's like, how come I can't use my Chromebook? And I want to be like, you mean besides the fact that you broke it and destroyed it? Like, what do you mean? Why can't you use your Chromebook? It's not workable. He's got another one that he's only allowed to use for like when we do our map testing or we have a quiz online, a quiz on the computer.
Yeah.
Him and the other guys, like, it's very rare because I have to watch what they're doing. And then this girl, I gotta text my my tech person later. I don't know what she did. She said she came up to me, her computer. You know how like when you unfold it, how the screen's attached to the keyboard?
Yeah.
It's coming off, right? Like it's coming off. And you can see like there's pieces. Part of the plastic that's kind of on, like on that covering is like being peeled off or whatever, right? You can see wires on the inside. It looks like it's been through hell. And she comes up to me and I was like, what happened to that? That's not natural. And at first she said, she's like, yeah, I dropped it. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I'll let the tech person know. I was like, chances are you're not going to get a new one. because we're at the end of the year anyway. And we'll see what goes after that. You know, you may have to pay for it. I don't know, right? And then she comes back 2 minutes later, and I had another teacher in there with me. She comes back, she's like, "Oh, I didn't drop it. Somebody else did." And I was like, "No." And I turned to the other teacher. I was like, "You heard what she said earlier, right?" She's like, "Yep." And I was like, "You're not gonna change your story now. You broke it." I screenshot it, sent it to her parents, and I was like, "I gotta take this to my tech person. I don't know what's gonna happen." And mom was just like, "Please let her know." And I was like, "Yeah, I will. I can pretty much guarantee. I'm not gonna guarantee, but I doubt they're gonna have to pay for it. But I at least like the little girl to sweat about it, you know, because maybe that'll teach her something." But it was just crazy.
And I realize people have like obligations this way, that way, and stuff like that. So I'm not like heartless, but
Yeah.
like everything being online, I get it, but it's like one of those things. Like I'm not big. I never have been a big proponent of like little ones having like to have like, because the thing is this. I realize it's like convenient for adults because we can scan this, do all this other stuff. You got adults that drop crap all the time, man. Like, what do you think a 7-year-old's gonna do? Like, whose body's like their body's not built for like carrying crap like that all the time.
I mean, there's a lot of weight to what you're saying. As someone like me who likes to use the technology, I like the kids to be able to do it because it allows us to do a lot cooler stuff than just, hey, let's draw this, let's write this sentence. You know, because that's a different story. But I got kids that can't write sentences. Sometimes it's easier for them to just verbally tell me. You know.
Hold on, I get it.
Practice.
I just wish there was maybe like a way to like tie those things onto like the desk or something. Like make it, because like I mean, being in the schools myself, I would see like how many Chromebooks get jacked up at like the elementary level, and it's not like the kids are purposely doing it.
Well, you know, a lot of it is those they have it open and they're holding it by the screen, which I guess yanks on the pressure or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But no, when I spend a lot of time going, like they have certain students that, I don't know why. I started out with certain kids would sit on their Chromebook on the floor by me when I'm at my table with my small groups because I couldn't trust what they were doing. And I still got about 2 kids that do that. But I got about 2 or 3 others that they're like cats, right? They just want to be by my feet or something. Or want to be like in my area, in my space. And they're right in there. And then when I'm like, okay, it's time to go back, put our stuff away, they'll just leave their Chromebooks on the floor. And I have to stop and be like, you can't do that. Because I might step on them. And then they're going to break. I was like, you cannot leave your Chromebooks on the ground. That's how stuff gets destroyed, you know? But so that was my whine corner. Like I said, the kids were whining about it. I was like, well, I didn't break it, dude. You did. You know? And actually, he broke it a couple months ago because he got upset. One of these days he got upset and he just threw it on the ground. Like I saw him do it and I was like, that's why it doesn't work anymore, man. Just so you know, you learn something, right? You just can't do that. Right. Anything you want to add for this episode? We're keeping this one moving on the fly. We're just rolling on.
Good, sir. I think good.
Oh, hey, guess what? I get to do this now.
Oh, it was it?
With the first Tennessee selects Cam Ward. Shocker, right? We all knew that.
What? No way.
Did you see Jacksonville traded with Cleveland? Jacksonville's got the number 2 pick. Browns got the number 5. Browns traded down. Jags traded up.
You think they'll go for Travis Hunter?
I mean, like, you can't trade up for a quarterback unless they're not giving up on Trevor Lawrence. Didn't they pay him?
Yeah, they're keeping him. They're probably trying to get. Maybe they're trying to get Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, or was it Abdul Carter, the DN out of Penn State, maybe?
I tell you what, man. Like, I'm not. I get it. I'm 44 years old. I'm out of shape and I can't do it. But Travis Hunter needs that. Like, I remember there was like some article I watched where he was like, well, who knows? Maybe I'll just give up football.
Oh yeah, I heard that. If I can.
And I was like, yeah, sure you will, buddy. Like, go try and find the millions of dollars getting paid to go do something else when nobody cares about you because you're no longer a football player. Yeah. Good call, bud. Way to go.
Maybe he can go and coach it. You know, because the thing at primetime, he keeps employing a lot of former players as coaches and stuff. You know. So. Yeah,
but you still are going to get paid to be a coach. What you getting paid? Like, I think primetime you got paid what, 7 or 8 per year for the next 5 years.
That's head coach.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right. Like those
that's what
coordinators,
I'm
they
saying.
ain't getting that kind of job.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's that guy. He can get like Travis Hunter can get more than that per season playing just one side of the ball for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
So I think he's
All right. Anyway, let me close this on. Moving on over to the social media plug. So please look for us, follow us on Facebook, MySpace is still there, YouTube, right? X, TikTok. It's at Choey and Jan, Choey, the letter N, Jan. And then we're on Instagram and Threads. It's at Choey and Jan 2. So Choey, the letter N, Jan, and then TOO for 2. What was I thinking? So I put up a couple Inebriated Histories on X, I think earlier in the week, right?
yeah.
And I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna do it from the computer, but from my phone, when I've been trying to post stuff on Instagram and X, it's like it's taking forever and it's not loading. It's not like uploading. And so then I'm like, oh, I'll have to do it at some other point though. But
The son of a guns.
I know, but that's just again, we need to tell Junior to be our social media guru or whatever, right?
Maybe we'll have to employ him. Be like, I'll give you $5 a week.
Yeah, it's like once we start getting paid, then you get paid. But honestly, like this is I'm gonna say something. I'm not making fun of your kid, but I've joked right about getting like
Yeah.
an intern for that. But then there's a part of me that's like, if we give someone the ability to do that, then how do we know that they're not gonna send something out stupid? You know what I mean? Somehow that we don't want. So that's my thing. I've even tried looking at, and there's some kind of, I guess there's AI programs now that do stuff, and I'm like, that I keep seeing these ads anyway on Facebook. You can get AI to like send out social media posts and stuff, and I'm like, well, how's that work? I guess you kind of program it, tell them what to do, but that might be the thing. But no, we need to sit down and have a consult with him, right? Have him be like what do they call it? Like it's a consultant, right? It just comes and tells you how to do stuff.
What do you think? How do you think we should get better at this?
And then I will tell you this, and I know we haven't pulled the plug yet. Oh, so people hearing this, but they're not really hearing much. Oh, oops.
They're hearing us, but they're not really hearing us.
Oh man, go away. Sorry, there's this little thing in my face that I'm like, I'm not talking to you, Choey. Go away. And like it's this little picture-in-picture mode. It's upsetting
what's his name? What is he? He's like, I know where you're from, but where are you from? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is one of those projects we're working on that we're trying to make for YouTube.
Yeah.
I wanna have like a focus group day with like your kids, right? We sit down and we show them an episode and we'd be like, thoughts. What do you think? Yay, nay, what worked, what didn't, blah blah blah. But all right, ready to? Oh, I gotta pull the media thing back up. You ready to pull the plug?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, it's gonna take a minute because I gotta find it. All right, here we go. Pulling the plug.